and welcome to Exploring Santa Cruz, a bi-weekly program on KSQD 90.7 FM. I'm your host for today, Matilda Rand. My guests are Stephanie Rios and Emmy Mizuno of Watsonville Wetlands Watch. Stephanie Rios, Education Programs Coordinator, was born in Los Angeles, but grew up in the Central Valley of California in Tulare. She studied environmental science, technology and policy at the CSU Monterey Bay. She obtained an environmental science degree with a concentration on watersheds, which is essentially a land area that channels all forms of water into one central area. Stephanie came to Watsonville Wetlands Watch after having worked for some time with the city of Watsonville through their Public Works Division. At Watsonville Wetlands Watch, she continues to work with the Watsonville youth, empowering them to take a collective stance against issues like climate change for the betterment of our local watershed. Emmy Mizuno, education specialist, was born in Japan and raised there and in New Jersey. She majored in Japanese studies at Wellesley College. Emmy moved to California to serve in the Notre Dame Mission Volunteer AmeriCorps program at an elementary school in Watsonville. After working in local after-school programs for several years, she studied at CSU Monterey Bay to become a teacher. She worked as a classroom teacher and reading intervention specialist for over 11 years, with the most recent experience being a transitional kindergarten teacher. Since June of 2021, she has been working with Watsonville Wetlands Watch, mentoring high school students, leading field trips, and teaching local youth about the importance of the local wetlands ecosystems. Welcome, Stephanie and Emmy.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Stephanie, could you tell us a little bit about the Watsonville Wetlands Watch and what it is and what it does?
Absolutely. So Watsonville Wetlands Watch is dedicated to the protection, restoration, and fostering of appreciation of the wetlands of the Pajaro Valley. In 1990, when developers were proposing building 800 homes on the upland habitats of Struve Slough, a group of concerned citizens urged that the city protect that precious habitat, and they were successful. And from then on, citizens of the area banded together to form what is now the Watsonville Wetlands Watch. We are located on the Pajaro Valley High School campus at the Fitz Work, or the Wetlands Education Resource Center building. We're really integrated with the Pajaro Valley Unified School District, and today we have a really strong and long-standing relationship with the city of Watsonville. From the educational standpoint, we talk to students about why taking care of the wetlands is so important. So we talk about day-to-day actions that they can do to help the wetlands and talk about the many benefits of them, like the way they help prevent floods and filter the water and are a habitat for so many different types of plants and animals.
Wonderful. How do the two of you work together?
My position is education specialist. I'm more of a supportive role, helping in the internship programs for the high school students, and then also going out to the schools to lead field trips and classroom experiences. And Stephanie?
I am the education coordinator, so I originally had Emmy's position before moving up to this role, which is just overseeing a lot of the details about program logistics, and I also work very close with Emmy on some specific programs with children.
Gosh. And Emmy, are you going to tell us a little bit about your offering at the Watsonville Wetlands Watch?
Yes, I would love to. One program that I want to highlight is our Wetlands Stewards program, which is an internship program for 12 high school students from Pajaro Valley High School. And what we do is we train these high school students in activities, experiences having to do with the wetlands and the local ecosystems. And then these students then go out and work in after-school programs in middle and elementary schools to teach these activities to children there. Some of the many activities that the high school mentors lead include bird watching, learning about native plants versus invasive non-native plants, learning about animal species, studying invertebrates in the slough water, learning about indigenous Ohlone practices and stewardship activities on the land, as well as the functions of the wetlands and ways to help the wetlands. We teach all of these activities using the inquiry method. So we're very much about students making discoveries and experiencing these activities in a hands-on way so that they're creating their own knowledge, and it's not just a model of education where knowledge is just transmitted to them.
It's not just reading a book and learning
And answering
about
questions. Yes.
and learning about nature.
Yes. And so these students in the after-school program also take multiple field trips. They learn about these topics out in the field as well.
So the question that I have is, so you have these basically student leaders from the high school, and what kind of experience do they have to be able to teach the younger students? Do you have in multiple weeks getting them familiar with everything? How does that work?
Sure. So we take 1 week during the summer vacation to specifically train the mentors on the activities that they will be leading. Throughout the year, we also not only go over these activities, but teach ways to get over their shyness or improving their presentation skills, also managing groups of children, problem solving when different issues come up. So it's an ongoing process, and it's pretty amazing the growth that you see from the very beginning of the year to the end of the year at this time, when you see how much they've grown in confidence and in knowledge and just the way that they carry themselves.
And so you offer programs led by high school students. Do you also offer programs to the teachers?
Yes. So the program that we have during the school day is called Wetland Wonders. And this is a program that's offered to various fifth grade classrooms and classroom teachers in the school district, or Pajaro Valley Unified School District. And with this program, we lead 5 different educational experiences for the students. So there are 2 field trips and 3 classroom visits that we do. And our focus this year was on the importance of the wetlands, the functions that they serve. And so did activities like going out to the wetlands on a field trip to look for evidence of animals. We also learned about native and non-native plants through collecting specimens, and also doing an action project, which was restoration, going out to one of the wetlands and doing weeding of invasive plants and then planting native plants. And then in the classroom, we will lead activities on watershed, pollution that ends up in our watershed system, going over what they will be learning during the field trips, and then debriefing afterwards. So it's a really wonderful program that we've been able to offer to teachers, and teachers have been asking for it every year. So it's great that we've been able to collaborate in that way.
So you're saying teachers asking you to come into their classrooms.
Yes.
And those are, you said 5th grade?
5th grade.
That's wonderful. And
Yes.
there are a lot of 5th grade classes. Are you able to get to all of them in 1 year?
No, we aren't able to offer it to all of the 5th graders in the school district. Stephanie, do you know how many schools?
We work with about 16 fifth grade classrooms right now, and we are doubling on our field trips. We have hired new staff to help with the load, and there is a huge demand, not just from 5th grade, but other various grade levels who want to come out to the wetlands.
I can imagine, because these kids go back home, and of course they also talk at school. So it kind of spreads itself.
It does. And I think in terms of the importance of these field trips, especially during these COVID times, the field trip experiences for the students have been cut back dramatically. And so sometimes this, for certain classes, this is the only field trip that they will be taking. So it's pretty amazing to see the students outdoors. Initially, they are lined up in lines and they look a little uncomfortable, but then as they spend more time out in nature, they relax, and you can literally see the change in them which is pretty amazing.
You're nodding,
see.
Stephanie. You see that?
I love our programs. I think they do a really good job of integrating just what Watsonville Wetlands Watch is all about. And I think one really good program that we have going on that does that is our Climate Corps Leadership Institute program. It is another high school internship program that we offer, not just to students at Pajaro Valley High School. This internship is open to any high school student in the city of Watsonville. So we're talking Watsonville High and some of the other private and high schools in the city. And that program focuses not just on talking about climate change, but doing something about it. So I tell students right off the bat, we're not going to spend a lot of time talking about what it is, climate change, but focusing on the action piece. What do you all want to do about this problem that we are facing? And just like Wetland Stewards, it's just another great opportunity to get the public involved, the youth involved, and make some real change.
If I go back to the schools, so the teachers, I assume, go with the students on the field trips.
In the 5th grade program for Wetland Wonders, yes. They
and
do.
When they come back to the classroom, do the teachers also do follow-up? Do you see that happening?
We ask teachers to do some of that follow-up. For example, for the action project, the students, like I said, did a restoration in one of the wetlands. And as a follow-up to that, we asked classes along with their teacher to present what they did, their action, with the rest of the school or with another classroom. And so, there were examples of classes that learned like a special song about the wetlands, and then they performed that for the whole school. Or they created video announcements. They made posters. So we try to leave it more open-ended, and so classes are able to use their creativity to show what they learned and then amplify our message to the rest of the school community.
And you're invited back for that?
Yes, we got to see what they did for their action projects.
Excellent. Restoration. What kind of restoration did they do?
So the restoration project that they worked on was removing non-native invasive plants and then planting native plants. So we talked about what restoration means, and we talk about, as a metaphor, like restoration, restoring an old car, and what does that mean? And so, yeah.
So they learn techniques. I mean, it's not just you yank everything out and you just dump a bunch of plants in there. There has to be specific.
Yes. There's a specific way, and our restoration staff, who's very skilled in those methods, guides the activities, and so the students know how to do this correctly.
Wonderful. Well, in a moment we'll continue, but in the meantime, I'd like to remind people at home that they're listening to Exploring Santa Cruz on KSQD, ksqd.org, and of course we're at 90.7 FM. The topic for today's program is the educational work of the Watsonville Wetlands Watch. My name is Matilda Rand, your host, but more important, my guests are Stephanie Rios and Emmy Mizuno of Watsonville Wetlands Watch. So let's return to the conversation. You talked about it a little bit already, but can you explain a little bit more about how students benefit and grow during their participation, and maybe even after they graduate from your program?
So I believe that the students benefit greatly in developing their environmental literacy. They also just gain comfort in being out in nature and communing with nature. Their relationship to nature becomes closer. I would also say that there is a really key component to especially the Wetland Stewards program that really develops that relationship between mentors, students, and also our docent volunteers. And so the mentors are teaching the students, the elementary and middle school students, as well as the docent volunteers. They are working with the students and mentoring the mentors, and then the students are giving back that positive energy and excitement about learning. So really, it's a relationship, and it's a learning community that's created. So that's very important.
Basically building an infrastructure on which you can build through the community and all the schools. Stephanie, what happens to the students in the high school? Do they get some kind of graduation? Do they stay with you? What happens?
I've been with the organization since 2016, and I'm starting to notice that the high school interns that were in either the Wetlands Stewards program are wrapping up college, and some of them are even applying to work for Watsonville Wetlands Watch as an environmental educator. I'm seeing a lot of them stay in the community and show up at our events. And the students that go through some of our Wetland Stewards and CCLI internships, they do get an end-of-the-year graduation ceremony. We do involve the families. We invite the parents. They kind of showcase what they've learned and how far they progress in their skills in being an educator. And they just stick around. I always tell them, I never change my phone number. You can always call me if you need a recommendation letter or be a reference for a job. They know that we're here for them, and I'll drop anything I'm doing to help them out in any way, giving them advice. And it's just really fun to grow that kind of community, that rich alumni community, and keep them engaged in our local area.
Anything to add, Emmy?
I agree with everything that she says. It's wonderful to see the alumni respond so well to our outreach, and we also have alumni working for us in the restoration department right now. And so that speaks a lot to the meaning that the organization has for them.
Because there's a lot of work to be done.
There's a lot of work to be done, exactly.
Yeah. If people at home are curious to see how they can contact you, well, here's some contact information. The website is watsonvillewetlandswatch.org. watsonvillewetlandswatch.org, all one word. And the phone number is 831-728-1156, 728-1156. And of course, Watsonville Wetlands Watch is also on Facebook and Instagram. On Instagram, it is @Wetlands Watch. Do you get a lot of people in the public that through the work that you're doing, the events that you have, because you not only work with students, you also have events in the do they contact you? Do they become members? Is that what people do? They become members, supporters, donors?
Absolutely. We have a variety of public events that we do throughout the year. Coastal Cleanup, World Wetlands Day, Earth Day. We're about to do National Trails Day that Emmy will talk about in a little bit.
Yeah.
But social media has been a great way of getting people to connect with us. Another wonderful way to know what's up in the world of Watsonville Wetlands Watch is through our newsletter. We also have an alumni newsletter where our older high school students can also keep in touch with us, and Emmy does a great job connecting with that. But absolutely, when we go out there into the community, people see what we're doing, they hear what we're doing, they get excited about the plants that they can take home, the animals that we're helping to protect in our area, and the younger students really help motivate their parents to come out and take part in the events. And we do everything bilingual. We have bilingual staff, so we really integrate our predominant Latino community out there and getting them excited about things. The word restoration can mean something to some, but it's probably a new vocab word for others. And so we really try to make it so inclusive to everyone in our community and make it so it's something fun for the families and fun for the next generation to keep going on with.
Good. Stephanie already mentioned there is a Trails project.
Yes. So on Saturday, June 4th, we'll be celebrating National Trails Day. So if you'd like any more information about that, I would sign up for our newsletter, which you can do online at our website. We also are taking sign-ups for summer camp still. That you can also register for on our website. We also have Adopt a Tree workshops going on. We have shade tree giveaways for Watsonville residents. And so there's a lot of ways that we're outreaching to the public. And Stephanie can tell you more ways that people in the public can volunteer if you'd like to share that.
I want to ask you a little bit more about what you just said, the summer camp.
Yes.
And then we'll get back to you, Stephanie, about how else. What's happening at that summer camp, and for whom is it?
Oh, the summer camp is for students age 9 through 12. And I can talk a little bit about it, but Stephanie will be leading summer camp. I just know that when I first started at Wetlands Watch, that was the first thing that I experienced was summer camp. And I have to say it was the funnest 3 weeks I spent.
3 weeks. And I understand it's a free camp?
It's absolutely free. It's all day, 9 to 3:30. There's free meals provided, and students experience all the fun of being out in the wetlands. They do art activities. They have visits from the city. Anything else you want to?
It's free for students who are in the Pajaro Unified School District. So if your son or daughter, child is a part of any of those schools within the school district, they're welcome to apply. The applications on our website. Like Emmy said, 9 to 12-year-olds, 9 to 3, Monday through Friday. And we have community members do activities in various crafts and so on. And we always make time in the morning to head out to the wetlands. Our spot at the high school is just centrally located to some of walkable wetlands. So we like to take the campers out there and explore. It's just free exploration time.
So you're permanently located at the Pajaro Valley High School.
Correct.
And I know that's really close to the wetlands.
Yeah, we have West Branch Stroop Slough and we have Harkin Slough right within walking distance of our building. So we do tons of hiking and exploring with the students.
Excellent. Emmy said that you are going to tell us a little bit more about how the public can join, can be involved.
Let's talk about it. We have a wonderful Fourth Saturday restoration project. Every fourth Saturday of the month from 9 to noon, we meet at the Fitzwork Center up at Pajaro Valley High School, and we have projects at various locations around the wetlands, restoring native habitat communities, places for birds and wildlife to explore, and it's family friendly. Children are welcome to volunteer with an adult, of course, and you don't need to sign up. Just come out and get involved. So that's one really easy way for our community members is to come to a Fourth Saturday event.
And so would you then have to have kids at Pajaro Valley School District, or can anybody in the county come and work?
Anyone from anywhere. We get folks even from the Bay coming down to join our Fourth Saturday restoration events.
Because you make it a lot of fun.
Absolutely. Why not? And we make a day out of it. There's usually some community members that towards the end of the event will lead a bird walk. We have snacks, and it's just a great way to enjoy the sun. We also have some native plant propagation opportunities for folks weekly, Fridays from 11 to 1 at the Fitzwork Center at Pajaro Valley High School here in Watsonville. That's a drop-in volunteer opportunity. Anyone's welcome. And if that's something that you're interested, you can check out our website for more information. But it's such a great group of people who just get together on Fridays and help out our restoration crew, because you can imagine all the plants that we need for our habitat and restoration work. And so those people are really helping us out. We also have some docent and volunteer training opportunities that'll happen in the fall. So if you want more information about that, you just join our newsletter. And there's also a great speaker series that our organization hosts, plant sales, and just so many other events that we do at our work. And you can also visit our website to get more information about those kinds of events, or follow us on social media. That's always a great way to get more information on what's going on in our world.
When do you ever sleep?
Great question.
But I get the impression that your group is quite large, that you welcome anyone from whatever community to come and help, and that you have specific educational programs for kids in 5th grade, and especially for students in the high school to become leaders and do class presentations and activities with the kids in the wetlands. And they graduate, and then they stay. It is a ever-growing community of protectors of our wetlands.
Absolutely.
I so much appreciate talking to you, and I just want to make sure that we say the website again, Watsonville Wetlands wetlandswatch.org, and your phone number is 831-728-1156. And then, of course, on Facebook you are under Watsonville Wetlands Watch, I assume. And then on Instagram you are at Wetlands Watch. Any final message for any of us?
Watsonville Wetlands Watch reaches over 4,500 students every year. Talk about sleep, right? We have 16 paid internships with our Climate Corps Leadership Institute program, 12 in our Wetlands Stewards program. We give out 6 scholarships every year to those students. We're primarily funded through private foundations, and we're just passionate folks. We don't have a large group of staff, but we are passionate about what we do, care so much about the community. And I'm just so appreciative of all of the opportunities that this organization has brought me in my life.
Yes, I would definitely say the same thing. I don't have an environmental education background or a science background, but every day I go home and I tell my friends and family about things that I've learned. Did you know? Do you know the top 3 reasons why wetlands are important? Do you know what kind of bird I saw today? And it's not that important. You know the name of the bird, but that you observe and you make observations about their behavior, all kinds of things like that. Things that I didn't think that I would be so interested in, but it's really drawn me in. And so I think the rest of the community has this great opportunity to become involved as well.
Thank you for creating community. That is one of our basic goals, but you're doing it too. And we want to say thank you to Stephanie Rios and Emmy Mizuno for coming here and really opening our eyes. Thank you.
Thank you so
you.
much.